I didn't expect beetroot to fit in so well with the succession planting schedule that I've been trying to stick to with the quick rotation crop beds between the two polytunnels. In order to get a more continuous supply, I had this idea of planting a bed with a range of different crops every 2 weeks during the main part of the growing season. But because there is only 4 beds to work with, ideally crops would be finished and harvested after 8 weeks so that the bed could be prepared for the next succession of planting. I knew some crops are fast enough to grow and mature within the 8 weeks or 56 days, but I thought beetroot would take longer to get a reasonable yield. For some of the earlier batches, we had sown beetroot and other slower growing crops in modules and trays to give them a head start before transplanting them into the growing bed. But this had a few issues and was extra work, so for the last few batches we have been sowing the beetroot seeds directly into the bed. I thought that it would take longer than 8 weeks for these plants to produce decent sized roots, but 7 weeks after the first direct sowing, the plants are ready to harvest. This is a beautiful patch of beetroot plants that are just reaching what I would consider to be an ideal size of salad or summer beetroot, with leaves that are still a vibrant green and edible. If we finished harvesting these plants within the week, the bed could be cleared and ready for planting another crop within the 8-week schedule, something that I didn't expect. We have had good weather, and we've been looking after these beds reasonably well for the past few months with enough weeding, watering, and fertility. I also sowed a hybrid variety of beetroot for this patch, which seemed to be faster maturing than the other varieties I have used. And I made sure to thin the plants early enough to give the remaining plants enough space to grow quickly. Of course, these plants could have been harvested earlier with smaller roots or left to grow quite a bit larger, which is one of the great things about an adaptable crop like beetroot. But at least with this one batch, the varieties we selected, the methods we used, and the growing conditions were just right to produce the size and quality of plants I was hoping to harvest, within the self-imposed schedule. As the weather cools down, it will be interesting to watch how much longer it takes each successive batch to reach that ideal harvestable size for beetroot, so that I can learn how the planting schedule might need to change as the seasons change.